Okay. So, I tore into these headlights. I had an idea on what I wanted. And I really, really like the way these lights look. Okay? They fit perfectly in the space in the factory headlight bucket. But as you can see, these wires are really, really thin. I mean, it's absolute fucking junk. And I knew in the back of my mind that this was a potential problem I was going to have. Because when you clip off that little connector, you're left with not much wire. I mean, that is so freaking thin. And these things are just junk, okay? They're not weatherproof, which isn't really a huge consideration for me, but I think I paid about $45 for 4 pieces of these, which, you know, it's not that cheap. So I ended up going to Tractor Supply, and I got their Traveler LEDs. Now, these were also about $40-ish for 2. Okay? But I mean, talk about a difference in quality. I mean, you can't even compare the two, right? So, I didn't want to go with this style. I really felt that it was too modern, but I really don't have a choice. I knew in the back of my mind that anything that was of this type of construction was going to be junk, but I forgot that how shitty of a wiring harnesses they make for these things. So all this has to go back. Huge freaking waste of time. And anyway, these are not as crazy bright as I thought they would be. I didn't want to shell out the money for the Rigid Industries lights, which is kind of what I really thought was a good benchmark, if you will. Let me see if I have. But the main difference... Oh, yeah, here it is. Okay, so these come with a proper connector. But look at these. Okay, much thicker. Much, much thicker wire. This you can actually do something with. You know, this you can solder. You can use your crimp, connect, whatever things you want to use. But this is much better. That other stuff was just total garbage. And unfortunately, you just have to pay for it. I did buy a wiring installation kit. I'm finding that difficult to route. There is really not a hole in the firewall. Anyway, let me see here. Okay. Maybe you can see it a little better. I used just a little bit of epoxy to put this in place. I let that cure overnight. That is on there, rock solid. So, I'm probably going to end up taking these, the blue film off these lights. But that's what it's going to look like. It's not really what I wanted, but part of it was just to make the car different, you know, make it unique, just something distinctively different about it. And I mean, this is definitely going to be distinctively different. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this big gaping hole now. We'll see if I can fit something else in there. But they have lights like this. But these were just too big. I like these round ones, but it's too big to fit in there. So anyway, cheap LED lights. Don't get them because the wires suck. And you're just going to be fighting it. And I had a hell of a time trying to solder to it. And it's just a bloody disaster. So, once again, you get what you pay for, I guess. I think you have to get a wiring harness, like an installation kit with these lights, and then you get a splitter, because the wiring kit, this here, here's the wiring kit. It comes with this pretty kind of beefy, maybe beefy's not the word, but larger than I anticipated switch. And then you get one of these connectors. So this is designed to fit one light bar. This is you're good to go for one light bar. Then you need a splitter to take this to 2, and then you can run 2 lights, which is what I'm doing. So, and then of course this gets kind of expensive because this kit was like $36. This is like 13 bucks, this splitter deal, something like that. So you can imagine every time you add a single light, it's going to cost you about 13 bucks in wiring. So that kind of sucks. You know, that's a lot of money in just wires. So, but anyway, I think it'll be unique if nothing else. You know, it's just a toy car. I don't really care all that much. It just needs to be, you know, legal and functional. The other thing I've noticed, so I use this PC7 stuff for my door handles. When I shave the door handles on this car, it's filled in mostly with this stuff. And I really, really like this. This was awesome. It worked out very, very well. The thing that surprised me, though, I've had this out here for about, I don't know, 3-4 months now. And it's getting harder inside. Now, I know the temperature's a little bit cooler, but it's really, really getting stiff. So, anyway, kind of surprised. It says at 50 degrees, it says 2 to 4 days cure time. That's kind of surprising. So, this stuff, you can definitely take a heat gun to it. It will help in the curing process. I talked to a guy who told me that he worked a lot with epoxy, and he said that applying if you're able to heat that epoxy, do it. It'll cure faster and stronger. And anyway, just as a side note, see ya.